Hey, 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 Brandon Beliso here. You living your best life. Welcome. It's Success Never Sleeps on Friday, September 2nd. Can you believe that? 2022 this year is just moving. It's moving. And as we move through it, I do so always with a sense of deep gratitude. I was talking to somebody at length about that today. And the big thing I understand is that as long as I'm living a good life and one defined by me based upon my own core values, based upon being very centered and balanced, then when we go through challenges, we don't go down that rabbit hole. I was talking to a school owner who said he's being punished, right? Because his numbers are up and down. He says he's being punished. And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. That type of mindset is not something I would encourage, facilitate. It's part of being an entrepreneur. It's part of being a small business owner. You will have ups, you will have downs. And it's what you do with those downs and the data that you use and the pivot and the adaptation and the shifts that you go through that one manages your stress level. Right? It's very stressful being a small business owner. It's not an easy day. And if you really trust yourself and you know that you're a balanced human being, you are going to make better choices in everything that you do. And that's powerful. We're remodeling the schools this weekend, getting some of the work done, not all of it. And I'm going to tell you why. But I've had to pivot maybe a dozen times in the past couple of days. And it's just the way it is, right? And you always look at in business what is the best case scenario and what is the worst case scenario. And worst case is not a bad thing. So, case in point, we may not get the pony wall built in time and the desk and the extra cabinet because they're custom. So I said at the minimum, get down the floor, get down the mats, and get the new benches in. And we can run that way because the school's closed from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. And so that took a lot of pressure off the contractor. And ironically, he pivoted even harder to want to meet these deadlines. And now he's saying, well, I believe by the time you open back up on September 12th, you're going to have a pony wall, the mirrors, the mats, and the flooring and benches. And it's a good day. See, but the thing is, there's so much as a small business owner, I want to tell you, you are not in control of. And if you can embrace that and be cool with that, everything can change. Cool? Let me say hi to some of my friends coming aboard. Roy, my buddy Roy, all the way from Florida. Bob Poole, what's happening, sir? Ashton, as you come aboard, say hello. We love to know who's hanging out with us. Can you share this, please? If you're here and you have the ability to share this with as many people as you can. Jason Smith from Chipley, Florida. Believe martial arts. And the ability to believe, I think, is the difference. We don't want people to buy into our culture. We don't want them to buy into our purpose. We want them to believe in it. And that takes on a whole another level, right? A whole another level. So let me thank all my sponsors. We'll begin with Market Muscles, of course, my good friend Stephen Reinstein and the gang out there. Stephen's got a good heart. He's a good soul. I'm an early adopter. Everybody knows that. I was referring Stephen when he first came out. I didn't even know Stephen, but I saw the writing on the wall. And I'm very big on that. I'm an early adopter, as I was with my studio. I see, but I understand technology, and I knew that my studio would go through a lot of growing pains, and they continue to this day. But that will always be an earmark of a great software company, is that they're constantly improving, because that's simply the way technology rolls. That's why technology is so volatile. We know every time our internet goes down or someone's account is hacked into, or it happens every day. So as much as I think what comes of that, because technology moves so quickly, is why it's so volatile and why at moments it can be very unstable, right? Because it's moving so fast. And then, of course, Kids Love Life Skills, tried and true. Something came up on my newsfeed today, and it was me doing a life skills talk at a kindergarten school. And I was doing the Focus Life talk. And the tremendous value that adds, it goes way beyond kicking and punching and bully awareness and all the rest. So if you haven't made a commitment, make that commitment to life skills education. Because if you move through this next part of life, which is a recession, I don't care what anybody wants to tell me, we are in a recession. I believe that right now. And here we're in California, right? California has money. If California was its own country, it'd have the fifth largest economy in the world. Think about that. And even with that said, we're beginning to feel it here. Facebook has froze hiring. I think they're starting to lay people off. Bed Bath and Beyond, 20% of their workforce just got laid off. and they're closing a bunch of stores. So I think we need to be mindful of that. There might be small pockets throughout the country that are doing well, but unless we position our schools as an investment for people, right? Instead of an extracurricular activity, we're always going to get the short end of the stick. Up, soccer's here, and I'm going to put my membership on hold or quit. Oh, it's basketball season, on and on and on. So I believe it's in our every thought, word, and action. We need to say things like, this is your tuition investment. Yeah, I got that second word from Liam. I was talking to one of my clients in England of Excel Martial Arts, and they went a step further. Instead of calling it in tuition plans, which we did, he calls it your tuition investment. I like that even more, right? Pretty cool. Don O'Neill, what's happening, Don, my friend? Succeed Martial Arts. Conrad from Respect Martial Arts in Southern Cal. Yeah, I love it. As you come aboard, say hello. And then, of course, LC Accounting. And I just got off the phone with my sister, and it is. She looks at me sometimes, and it's a juggling act. And as we move into this remodel, I believe timing is important. We know building supplies are expensive, contractors are expensive, right? So, right now, as we're faced with this recession, why am I doing this remodel? Why? Because we're going to be the haven. We're going to be that place that people go to, right? And they want to be there and they really need to be there. And just like the pandemic, virtually, we had 750 people online with us. It's the same thing. So it's not the full remodel. So that was my compromise. And of course, I have several lines of credit I can pull that money from. So we're not disrupting our cash flow. So, but we're going to do some of it and it's going to look really good and give a nice little kick in the pants in San Francisco that is much needed aesthetically, as well as give us new mats in Millbrae. So, I'm grateful nonetheless. The point is a little bit of something's better than a whole lot of nothing. And the fact we'll be in Hawaii, TJ's getting married. That's a huge milestone. We're closing the schools for a week. We're able to do that, on and on, on and on. But there were many moving parts, such as makeup classes. I did makeup classes last Friday in Millbrae, which we normally don't have classes. I'm doing them tonight and tomorrow. We're normally closed Labor Day weekend. We're going to be open on Saturday. So my wife said that no cotton candy, none of that on Saturday. We'll only do it on Sunday. Thumbs up, babe. I'm cool with that. So it's really that type of ability to shift in everything that you do that allows you that. And that's why I'm a huge advocate of the next person coming aboard to hang out. Zach was with me last week and Zach's here again this week because I really believe in empowerment. And you as a small school owner, I don't believe you should be spending $700 to $1,000 a month on some digital marketer. I believe the more you learn to tell the story yourself, then the better you're going to be at communicating that to your team, at your website, in any print that you do, in a social media post. You are the storyteller, you are the architect. And if with a gimbal, right, the thing you put your cell phone on to stabilize it, and some decent software, some of these apps, and being very clear on what your why. I mean, Jason's done a great job at that, Believe Martial Arts. Marco's doing that. But at least I have some parameters. Live your best life. Awesome. Awesome. Kids who are physically fit are living their best life at One Martial Arts. The ability to pay attention, which means to focus, helps kids get better grade and live their best life, right? I can always take that, live your best life, and reapply it to any social media, anything we're doing. And that's important because once you know that why, you live, teach, and preach it. Cool. So, all right, I want to bring Zach on. I'm not sure what app or we're going to pick it up. Last week, we left it off at the Meta Business Suite. What's up, Zach? Are you there? I see you, but I can't hear you. Zach's looking at something there. And while Zach's doing that, I want to remind you guys, we just released the sign up for It's Time Live Balance, April 15th through 18th, right here in San Francisco, California. Put the link in there if you can, Marco. We have the page all set up at brandonblisa.com. It's only 20 school owners, only 20, but it's 4 days of the most intensive work you will ever do personally, professionally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. Take your pick, because I am a cultivator. Every day I wake up emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, and financially, I am investing and cultivating my life. Cool? Are you there, Zach? He's still looking at something. Let him figure that out. Marco, see what you can do to help him. So I just heard you, Zach. I can hear you moving things around on that end. So, you watch me at social media. I think the big thing that has earned me the following I have, and it's very, unique to the martial arts industry today, but as we begin to expand that, is I'm consistent. My message is consistent. My look is consistent. Everything's black and white, right? With the logo. Everything I do, if you look, people associate that look with Brandon Beliso. And that's important for me, right? When you look at my stuff, it says that. So the look, the feel. Remember, people are stimulated by sight, sound, smell. Even the fonts that we use are very consistent. So I want you to be mindful that I'm challenged when I see a school owner do this thing. They're doing a community event, right? And there they are, they're with their cotton candy machine or whatever. And then the very next video is somebody with smoke and it's highly produced. The chick's moving in slow motion, punching a bag. And, this is our fitness kickboxing program. There's a huge disconnect. There's a huge disconnect. So,
are you able to hear me, sir?
There you are, Zach.
All right,
I can hear you.
Fantastic. It was connected to the wrong microphone, but
yeah. And if you can turn that up in any way, that would be useful because you're a little bit back there.
A little quiet right now.
Yeah, you're a little quiet.
Okay, let me see here.
I want you to think about that. If you go back over the last 20 social media posts you have, are they consistent in look and feel and everything that you do? I think another huge inconsistency I see in everybody's social media are the images that you take. Right? They're very inconsistent. And the composition is like there's no composition. Somebody posted something having fun, and it's a big empty parking lot, two people facing each other. It looks like they're standing at attention. I'm going, that is no composition whatsoever, right?
Right.
All right. So Zach's here, folks. We got Zach on. Mr. Zach Conley, what's happening, sir? How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Cool. So what do you want to pick it up from last week?
So here I'm going to share my screen, but last time we left off kind of finishing up running an ad. So running a simple ad. So we're going to pick up from there. So I'm just going to share my screen and see here, share. Okay. So next step. So if anybody followed along last week, if anyone set up an ad, if you've been having it running for a full week now, you're able to view some of the results.
And this is Facebook. We stopped.
This is Facebook. Yep. So we're on the Facebook Meta Business Suite. So you can run ads. You can also run ads on Instagram as well. But just for this example, we're just doing this for Facebook. So last just like a precursor, what we went over. We went over just getting the ad set up, and then so we're now reviewing the ad results. So in the Meta Business Suite, if you access your menu, so if you access the more icon on the right bottom of the menu, you can select ads. And from there, you're actually able to look at all your ads that you have running. So if you tap on view results below the ad, you'll see the ads that are running. You'll see the results, who's being reached. So you can look at that. So if you can click on view results, then you're able to view results. So you can kind of choose. So from before, I kind of explained to you guys how you can choose how long your ad, how long you want to run it. You can either run it. If you run as a smart ad, it'll keep running until you want it to stop. And so with a smart ad, it gets better and better, and it actually learns your audience over time.
So Zach, do you believe that myth that, I know there used to be an industry saying that you run something for 2 weeks and it's dead. Is that no longer true?
I don't think so. I think I think especially with a smart ad where it's adjusting over time, the longer you have the ad running, the better you're going your results are going to.
So is it more strategically correct to run an ad longer at a lower dollar amount?
Yes.
Or okay.
I would do I would do $5 a day. Maybe, if you want to spend a little more, you can. But like I found that it's like $5 a day is a pretty good amount.
And what's the longest you need to run this ad before AI really, since it's machine learning and you said it's a smart ad?
I would say it takes about a month.
About a month.
It takes about a month.
Okay. And then after that month, you'll start seeing results, or do you think you'll see results beforehand?
You'll see some results beforehand. Again, you can always check. So what I'm going to show you right now is you can always check how many people are actually visiting your site, what your turnover rate is with it. See how many cents you're spending per person viewing your site.
And what does turnover rate mean, Zach?
A turnover rate means so if someone sees your ad, it's basically seeing them kind of coming into your website, or if they're not. Viewing, so you can have like 17,000 views, but then you might only have a few hundred like link clicks or interactions with your post.
So the turnover
is someone interacting with it, someone actually doing something beyond just looking at it.
And that's turnover.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you select your ad, you can view results below and see you can see the ad running. So you can view ad results. So if you click in there, you can view how many people have searched, sent you a message, or how many people have been spent, how much has been spent and how long your ad has been running for. You can also choose to pause or delete your ad from there. So you're able to look at how many people are reached. For this ad example, we just did for website visitors. So I was able to see how many people went onto the link after they viewed it. So we had 244 visits, unique visitors.
From this ad?
Yes, for this ad. We only ran this ad for $5 a day for a month.
And in a month, you got 242 leads.
Yeah.
And how many took action?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check with Nicholas to see how many people. It's kind of hard to tell though, because you'd have to ask somebody when they walk in, did you see us on Facebook?
Correct.
So I haven't confirmed that with him, but it's hard to confirm, who's coming.
Yeah, I mean, we just added as part of when they're signing up for the trial, how did you hear about us? So it's in the drop-down menu in our My Studio. So
I think we should get that set up with him just so we can figure out more, like who's coming in off what. But yeah, you can view ad results from here, and yeah, that's about it. So basically, yeah, you're able to your ad clicks. If you set your ad up for messages, you can also see your messages through there.
So what are some obvious things that tell us an ad's not working? When is that ad? How's it able to tell us, you know what, you should change up your photo, or you know what, you'll get better results with video, or you know what, this copy has been used 1 billion times, you need to rewrite your copy? Is it that smart where it can do things like that?
I think just by looking, if you just are looking through the results and you're, for what you're spending, your percentage, so your interaction, your turnover rate, people like actually clicking on to your ad, there should be a percentage. So it should be at least 3% from views to clicks, because the average rate's not even 1%. It's not one, right. Not even 1.
Yeah, and that is
still getting 3%. You're doing a lot better.
Zach, I mean, why is that? Even back in the old days of Yellow Pages, and I know I'm dating myself, they would say that if you get 1% return on your investment for advertising, that's a good day.
Well, it's because you're shouting to a crowd. So but with Facebook, it's a little nicer though. So you can get a higher turnover rate because you're able to target people. So I mean, with this ad, we got like a 9% turnover rate.
So do you think we shouldn't worry about that and then use that information to retarget? Is that where we're going to have a better chance? I always hear about the funnels. Funnels were the big things. Now every digital marketer is going, funnels are dead. Funnels are dead. Have you noticed that? Funnels are dead. SEO doesn't matter. They're taking this whole kind of
SEO matters still.
I know it does. Trust me. I agree with you. I agree with you. I want to come up on the first page. We post consistently at our Google. So I get that. But how can we really feel empowered to move this thing, Zach, when we're looking at these ad results? Okay, great. What do we do now? Like looking at what you see right here, what would you as a digital marketer do to tweak this ad to get better performance?
I mean, I think the photos I used were pretty good. I think, there was a few photos I think we could have been shot a little better. But as far as I think what really should get people drawn is the copy being used within the post. So for this example, we like for the click to learn more, we had the copy next to each one was like, it didn't say like, oh, learn martial arts, or learn a roundhouse kick, or earn a belt. It's nothing to do around that, but it's more about feeling driven. So reach your goals, build confidence, feel part of a strong community. Like that type of wording where people feel some type of way about it, and also
some emotional connection, right? Yeah, good composition. I like the logo you can see on the back of the uniform. It's obvious it's an instructor. The kids facing the camera, smiling, having fun. Action stuff. I'm going to tell you guys, I just lose my freaking mind when you guys keep posting stuff and there's no action or there's no facial expression. You're shooting it far away. I got to be really, really mindful of that composition of a photo, or even within a video. You guys got to really pay attention to that, right?
Yeah, precisely. So, so that's how you can view your ad results. And you can also check how many dollars you spent. You can also, if you wanted to spend a little less, if you spend a little more, you can also change that from there as well in the ad section. And then, so lastly on Meta Business Suite, I have is creating an event. So if you guys have any community events going on, or if you have a parents' night out you want to promote more to the community, you're able to use the create event section on the Meta Business Suite. So to access events, you just tap on the more icon on the right of the bottom menu and you can select events. And then from there, you can click on events. And then you can create events. So you just tap on create event at the top center of the screen. And then you're just able to enter your event information from there, such as if it's online or if it's in person, the event name, event date, location, description. And then you're able to review it. And then once you reach the review event screen, review all your information, you can also enter a link for people through admission. So if you have a link, maybe if you have a Bitly link, or if you have a link through your My Studio app or something, you're able to enter that in too, so people can access that right away. So they don't have to go on to your website or something.
And where does that go again, Zach? Tell them.
For the admission.
Mm-hmm.
So you can enter a Bitly link. So with the My Studio app, if you guys have the My Studio app, well, you're able to get a link through that app. If you create an event, and you can actually put that link into Meta Business Suite's admission, where this is a section in the events. If you put it in there, then people will be able to click on it through the events page on Facebook once you create the event.
Yep. Cool.
So yeah, it's pretty nice. So it's pretty easy all in one place. People can click on there and they're able to go right into sign up for admission.
Yeah. And we use all of these things in our business, and I can't tell you how much I feel empowered. I often felt very disempowered and helpless, when I would work with digital marketers, because I simply was told, I'm the expert, you're not. This tests really well.
Yeah.
Look, you're only paying, 3 cents per click. And I'd listen to all that jargon, and it just came through from white noise because none of it educated me. And I think if I can learn about this as I'm spending money as well, it allows me that opportunity to be empowered. And you know me, I personally run a lot of social media myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge advocate because I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. So I encourage you, because it'll help you clarify your brand when you talk to your team, when you talk to a potential parent. It will really help that tremendously. So it's just like anything. You're a white belt at this, many people, and just practice it. It's not going to be perfect. And like I said, I delete stuff all the time. Did I post that? What the heck was I doing at 2 a.m? Right. And it's totally cool. It's not a big deal. Just, again, I think like Conrad from Respect Martial Arts used that word analysis paralysis. We look at a post so hard that we do nothing with it, or even worse, we don't think about it at all. And we post stuff that I'm like, why would you post that? Right? Why would you post that? So these are the nuts and bolts, you guys, but the psychology behind social media and you taking control of it is where I'm very passionate. And I hope you can get the yin and the yang out of this. Cool. What's next, sir?
Yeah, so that's about it for that. And then just one thing I want to add to the events too. And you can do this any post too. You can also boost posts. And boosting posts, like singular posts, it can be useful. I don't do it a whole bunch, but boosting events can be useful if you're just trying to get more people, into your event. You also are able to do the same type of thing as you can do with ads, where you can target just a regional area. So if you wanted to reach more people, so if you had more of a community-centered event, where you're just kind of reach out to the general community, you're also able to do that with boosting the events. And you can also choose how long you want to run it for. So
yeah.
Parents' night out event, maybe you're trying to reach a larger audience, you're able to do that through boosting it.
Someone once said that boosting is a lazy man's way of running Facebook ads.
It is. That's why I don't use a lot, but this would be the only exception I would use. It would be for an event.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider at this point, if this event was something like a woman's self-defense workshop for the whole community, physically running an ad for it?
Yeah, you definitely could. You definitely have a little more strategy behind it, because you'd have to think about your demographic a little more. I would do it probably 2 months ahead of time and be running it, way before you're actually having the event.
Cool.
Just so again, like with those smart ads, you're able to target in on who exactly you're trying to get in the door.
Cool.
For that.
All righty, sir. What's next? Where are you going to take us to next?
All right. So next, we're going to go over just creating content. So just some tips over taking photos, like what type of content to create. We're going to go over Ripple just a little bit, which is one of the apps you can use on your phone just to create some simple graphics.
Yeah, Ripple is cool.
So Ripple is nice. I don't have anything put together for Canva yet, but I think we can go over that maybe next time. Canva is kind of a large beast, because with Canva, it's not just centered towards social media. You can also do flyers, you can do handouts, you can do posters, you can do almost anything on Canva. Ripple is more social media focused, and I think that kind of fits with what we're doing right now.
Simple, it's fast, it animates things, you know, it already positions the font.
Yep. So let's see here. I'm gonna slideshow this. So yeah, capture creating content for social media posts. So section 1, we're going to learn how to capture content for your school. So how do I capture the best content for my school? Some people might be asking, how do I capture content? I'm not a photographer. I'm not a videographer. I don't know what I'm doing. So it can be a little overwhelming at first. Maybe you don't know where to start. So I just have a few tips. So how do I capture content for my school? So the first thing, if you have a smartphone, I'm guessing most people watching have a smartphone. They might be watching this on a smartphone. If you have a smartphone, you have unlimited capabilities as far as what you can do, especially if a newer phone. Basically, the cameras on those newer phones are as nice as the cameras, one of the most high-end cameras that were out 10 years ago. So, not even probably 10 years ago, but, the camera is just as nice. So if you use this in your smartphone, you already have enough to get started. You can also invest in a phone gimbal stabilizer for smooth video content. And I think next video we'll actually kind of talk about video and also video editing. But if you buy a gimbal, you're able to use that, which is just it's a really simple device. Once you figure out how to use it, it's not too complicated. But it stabilizes your phone. You're able to use it to stabilize video content. You can take photos and videos. If you take photos and videos on a consistent basis, that can always help because you're able to always go back and select content. Maybe you have a photo that's not relevant for that week. But if you do life skills, maybe you have a nice photo, maybe a kid that's bringing their arms up, they look strong. Maybe that's a good confidence photo. So
do you recommend one gimbal over another?
So DJI products are really nice. I would say DJI is probably the leading end for gimbals, for action cameras, that type of thing. I would probably use the DJI if you want to spend a little more money. DJI
B1.
Yeah, that one's good.
Got that, everybody? Make sure we put that in the comments. And if you can find a link, Marco, that'd be very cool too. Because I need it.
So, but one really important thing is taking photos and videos on a consistent basis. If you have you can come in if you have the time. I know a lot of you business owners, small school owners, especially, maybe you're teaching every day of the week. Maybe it's really hard for you to come in. If you have the opportunity to, just maybe once or twice a month, if you're able to come in, spend most of the time just taking photos while someone else is teaching class, that always works great. You can take a variety of photos and videos through each class, and don't be afraid to get up and close in class. Don't just stand in the corner and just take photos the whole time. Try to move around, try to get some different angles, just get creative with it. There's no limitations as far as what you can do. Just see what works. Some things will work, some things won't. Just try to take as many photos as you possibly can, though, because you can take a few hundred photos, you're probably going to find maybe 10 to 15 good ones out of all those ones.
Cool.
So talking about landscape versus portrait mode. So those are the two ways you can shoot photos on your phone. So with portrait mode, portrait's useful if you're trying to get a higher quality photo. You can also do the portrait mode on your phone where it kind of focuses on a subject. So that's useful if maybe you're just trying to focus on one student, trying to highlight a student. The portrait mode can work. But for most cases, when I'm just in my mom's school and when I'm shooting photos, I'm using the landscape mode. Just because it's a wider aspect ratio, and then you're able to crop in on one particular subject if you want, instead of portrait mode is more limited. So like we were talking about last week, you can always take away pixels, but you can't really add pixels in. So with landscape mode, you have just a little more flexibility as far as cropping photos in.
Cool.
So I would suggest mostly using landscape mode, unless portrait mode, maybe you just want a still shot of a student maybe staying with their parents. Then that would make more sense for using portrait mode. But besides that, landscape mode, I would use most of the time. And then one nice thing I use is live photos. So this is a feature on iPhone. There's also another name for this on Android. It's not called live photos. I forget what it is. But it's basically the same feature. Basically, where if you have live photos turned on your phone, you're able to go back later. And you can actually choose the exact frame you want. So it almost takes a short video of that photo, and then you're actually able to choose the frame from that video, small like 5-second clip. Which so if you're taking more of an action shot, this is really useful because sometimes you can't get the exact moment you want. So you're actually able to go back and kind of go to the right frame you want to use for it. So if they're like throwing a kick, they're throwing a punch, maybe it's a little blurry, maybe it's shot it a little too late, you're actually able to go back and choose the correct frame you'd want to use.
Yep.
So I found that very useful. I use that all the time. And then I don't have to really worry about, getting at just the right moment. I'm actually able to go back and change it if I need to.
Yeah, especially with kicks and stuff, huh?
Yep, with
By
kicks
getting that
especially.
kick perfectly timed, it's really hard to do that. So
Yep, especially because you're not using a standard camera, so there's a slight delay when you're tapping on the picture button.
yep.
So there's gonna be a slight delay. So instead of trying to compensate for that, you can just use live photos, and then you're able just to go back and change it later, which is really nice. So yeah, just make sure the icon is switched to on at the top left corner of the screen, the live photos icon. Then you just go to your photos, go to edit, and tap on live photo icon. Then you're able to select the frame you'd like to use for that. So if any action type photo you want to take, this is definitely what I would use. I always just keep live photos turned on just so I don't forget.
And how do you keep that live photo turned on all the time?
Oh, I just make sure so it's like high. So if you I can show you really quick. So on your phone here. It'll be right on the you can see here.
Because I notice sometimes my stuff is live and other times it's not. So it's not.
So if there's a cross, if there's like a check through it, that means it's not on. But it's on. It's right here.
Yeah. Do we have a setting so it stays on all the time, Zach?
Once it's on, it should always be on. At least for me, like when I opened the camera, it was on already. So for me, like it's always on. There's not a setting on your phone that you can that's like within your settings, so you turn it on. But as long as it's turned on. If you change between like a video to photo, it might turn off, but mine was on photos. So just make sure, just double check it. Make sure there's not a line through it. If there's a line through it, it means it's not working or it's not on.
Yep.
So maybe you guys are wondering, so maybe if you're small school owners, maybe you're really busy, you don't have the time. So what if I don't have the time to capture social content? So maybe you don't have the time to come in. Maybe you teach every single night of the week. You don't have time to come in. So maybe you're wondering, well, now what do I do? So I would say, utilize your team. So if you have a young adult team member who would be interested in taking photos or videos, definitely use them. Especially people my age, we're on our phones a lot. We know, like, I'm not saying we know what we're doing, but a lot of people our age are pretty familiar how to take photos. A lot of us are on TikTok. A lot of us are on Instagram. We've kind of grew up taking photos, posting photos, using social media in that way. So these people already have a pretty good sense of like photos, what to look for. So anybody who's younger in your team who maybe is available once or twice a month just to come in and take photos, just ask them, see if they're willing to. Also, they're able to contribute to your social presence. They're able to contribute to your business in a way. So they come in twice a month during class time to take photos. You can have them share the photos to a shared album on your phone. So you don't actually have to have them send you photos every single time. If you set up a shared album, they're able just to add it right to the shared album. Then you're able to access it from there. And then from there, you can select the relevant photos and videos you want to use from the folder to post.
Yeah, we have them putting it in a Dropbox folder. Is there a faster way to do that, Zach?
You guys been using Dropbox?
Yeah.
You guys are using iPhones, right? Correct. Yeah, so here's a simpler way where you don't have to go. You can use it all within the Apple's application or Apple's software. So if you use a shared folder in iPhone, I'll show you right here. So if you go to the plus button on the top left corner of the albums in the Photos app. So if you just go to your Photos app and you just click on the plus on the top left corner, you can select new shared album, and then you're actually able to add people with other iPhones into that shared album. So if you have another person using a separate phone to take photos, and you just want them to add that to the album right away, they have the option to do that.
And where do you find that? I've got my camera open, Zach. Where is it?
So go to Photos. Go to Photos. Go to your Photos app.
Oh, from settings?
Just go to your Photos app. It's
Yep.
All right. So if you go to albums, you're in albums.
Shared albums.
If you tap that top left plus button, you're able to do new shared album, and then you can create one. And then from there, you can name the album, and then from there, you're able to add contacts to it.
Got it.
So you can add the number of the other phone or the other person who's taking photos, and they're actually able to add that. And then you're also able to add, so both of you can add to that same folder. So that's just a free resource, because I know in Dropbox you'll run out of space eventually. So this is a free resource through your iCloud account where you're able to do it through your phone. You don't have to use a second party application.
Very cool.
So I found that useful. Me and my mom have been using it for a while. It works really well. And again, it's nice because I know with Android, with iPhone, it can get a little wonky. Through this, you're actually able to edit the live photos through this way as well. So you're not really losing any of that content.
Cool. I like it.
So you might be wondering also, how do I post consistently without becoming repetitive? So kind of what we were talking about earlier, Brandon, where you'll see someone's captions like, "We're having such a fun time," and then it'd be like a parking lot with 2 students and they're just standing there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not really engaging, right? So it can be a little hard. It requires some creativity, but there's definitely ways where you can post consistently. So one big way you can do that is by using Kids Love Life Skills program. So if you use Kids Love Life Skills, they provide you a plethora of ideas you can use for posting.
Yep.
So there's plenty of content ideas. So each patch you're going over, so if you go over 2 patches a month, that's already 2 to 4 posts a month you can use covering that patch. So you can use this to your advantage. You can take the opportunity to post about that patch and what that means and how it benefits your students. So we've done that with Journey. We kind of cover their patches. We have a quote that goes along with it. Then we just have a short blurb below it, just kind of covering, how that benefits the students.
And that's the key word. I know we love our martial arts, but really it's the life skills that we're able to do better than soccer or baseball or anybody else that positions us as that investment.
Yep.
So it should be a commitment in your social media to make sure that you are doing that. I agree, sir. Yep.
Yeah, I think the life skills, especially if your school uses life skills, I think that should be the forefront of what you're promoting.
Yep.
I really do think so, because it's kind of what you just said. That's what differentiates yourself from all the other schools, from other team sports and that type of thing. Whereas you're focusing on the patches, it more pertains to life outside of just martial arts. It pertains to everything else as well.
Yep.
So it's something that parents find very valuable. So definitely don't want to miss out on promoting it. So I've done stuff for Hero Martial Arts as well. So then we also have a collection. So you can also just promote a collection of photos. So over time, if you start taking photos within your school, you'll have a collection of good photos for each program. So you can use the collection of photos to just promote a particular program or service. People like variety. People like, one photo is great, but if you have 4 or 5 really good ones, if you're able to put them together, people like to see, again, storytelling. If you have, a photo of like maybe the beginning of the class, the middle of the class, the end of the class, students warming up together for that, like Excellent Kids, their students sort of warming up together. And then maybe they're doing a parent exercise. So maybe a photo of them working with their parents, and maybe another photo of them giving a instructor high five, that type of thing. You can also do that with birthday parties too, or any type of thing you just want to promote. If you have a collection of photos, people are more willing to spend more time looking at it.
Yep.
You can also do seasonal posts, reminder posts. So if you have your belt testing coming up, just promoting that, reminding people, maybe somebody hasn't been into class in a few weeks. This will kind of get them, back in. It's like, oh, this testing month, I need to come in. I need to make sure I'm ready for this. You can also do that for if beginning of school year. I know school year kind of already started, but again, that's another seasonal post you can use, where it's just you promote as, okay, school is starting. The new school year approaching. We're getting prepared for new teachers, new classmates, and possibly a new school. For most, it's an exciting time to make new friends and reach new goals. For others, this can be a certain time to interact with new people and having to deal with bullies. At Journey, we strive to equip all our students with the skills needed to be their very best while at school. We do this by building confidence, strengthening focus, and encouraging leadership in every class. Want to learn more about how we grow brave and spread kindness? Check the link below. So something like that. You can also promote community events. So kind of what I was talking about earlier with the Meta Business Suite. You can create an event through Meta Business Suite, and then also just promoting it on your page. So making sure you're consistently promoting it. If you have an event coming up. Also maybe throwing a contest every once in a while. We did a coloring contest with Hero Martial Arts recently, where they were able to color in the Hero logo with the 4th of July theme for 4th of July, and then the winner got a special prize. So something like that. So it gets people interested, gets people engaged.
School owners ask me this question all the time, Zach. How many hours a week should they be spending cultivating content to do 3 to 4 posts? What's
3 to 4
reasonable?
posts a week.
Mhm.
It's gonna take you some time. It's probably gonna take, I would say, almost designate an hour for each post. Maybe a little
You hear
less than
that,
an hour.
folks? All right. So be
A little less
mindful
than an
because
hour.
I think the other thing with that is we really think about what we're posting,
Mhm.
write down the composition, adding tags, whatever hashtags, the different things you want to do, um, animating it, writing copy. If you discipline yourself to 1 hour per post, one, you become a better storyteller, but two, you'll probably put out something pretty decent,
Yep.
right? Instead
Yep.
of just randomly going live in the middle of bell testing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, there's a strategy that goes behind it. There's work that goes behind it. I mean, with the tools like Canva, with the tools like Ripple, it does make it easier. But
Yep.
again, if you just use the template and you're not willing to put the time into customizing it, changing the colors, making sure the fonts kind of work with your brand,
Yep.
it's going to feel off when someone sees it, on social media.
Does Ripple have a desktop version now?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, pretty sure Ripple is desktop version.
Yeah.
Let me check
It makes me crazy to work on my phone sometimes. And that's why I stopped using Ripple because it got more robust and I dig it, but it was too hard to edit on my darn phone.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the problem. It's nice, like you're able to do it from anywhere. That's the benefit from using on your phone. But yeah, you're able to access Ripple from online, so you're
Awesome.
able to do it online.
Cool.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. For me as a graphic designer, I'm all the stuff I'm doing is not even, I don't even use Ripple. I use Adobe products to do my design work just because I know how to use them. But for anyone who's entry level or just trying to figure this out, just trying to get something out there that looks semi-professional, using Ripple, using Canva is a very good resource
Yep.
to use. But if you really want to get nitty gritty, if you really wanted to dial in like branding wise, making sure everything is very consistent, that's why I use the Adobe products because I have complete control over it. But I know learning the Adobe products takes a lot of time and it gets really complicated. So I don't expect anybody to learn.
It is.
Adobe products.
Photoshop is still a beast, man.
Yep.
Illustrator's a beast.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So they're complicated, and I could talk about Illustrator for like 3 hours, but I don't think that'd be very useful or pertain much useful information.
Nope.
So that's why we're just using Ripple, Canva, simple apps like that for just some simple graphics.
Cool.
And then so community events works. And then also what we've been doing with Journey is we've been doing student highlight posts. We've been just highlighting students, and the way I choose it, so people will be like, "Is this favoritism?" The way I choose the students is just whoever student has a good photo. That's just what I'll use. I'll send that to my mom. It was like, "Hey, this is a good photo. Do you think we want to use this for a student highlight post?" And then she'll just message the parents. It's like, "Hey, we would like to highlight your student," and that gives a special touch to the students. It builds that connection. The parents really like to interact with these posts as well. We usually get 9 to 10 shares with this post, so that's just free marketing.
Yeah,
The
very
parents
cool.
are just sharing that.
Very cool.
So that works really well. And yeah, we just highlight the student. We talk about their interests, what they're into, what their favorite color is, what they like to do during the free time, what their favorite patch is, what their favorite technique is, like those types of questions.
Very cool.
So that works pretty well. So
And if it's a private group, how can they share it? Are they able to still share it?
well, we share this in Journey, just the Journey page, but
Right.
then we also repost it on the private page, the group page.
But the parent would share it from the public business page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then section 3 is using Ripple. So I'm just going to kind of briefly go over Ripple. So what is Ripple? Ripple is an application that can be used for designing graphics social media by utilizing templates. It's basically simplified. That's what it is. So using templates, you're able to drop a photo in there. You're able to drop your text in there. You're able to change your font, all that type of stuff. So I'm going to go over it. So step 1, you're just going to go into Ripple, and you're going to show. It's going to show you some tailored templates you can use. So we will tailor. So what it says is we'll tailor your home feed to match the needs of your business. So you're just going to choose a few tags if you want to. The only one I selected was health and fitness because that seems the only one that pertained to martial arts. If you don't want to, just don't select any of those. Then from there, you're just going to create your account. So you're just going to sign in through Apple, through Facebook. And the third step is to set up your brand. So from there, you're able to drop in. So if you have a logo on your phone, you can drop in your logo from there. And you're also able to choose your brand colors from there. So that will automatically incorporate into all your posts, any post you create. which is really nice.
Yep.
So that's the one thing I do like about Ripple compared to Canva is like Canva, you choose a template and that's kind of what it looks like. And then you have to go in there yourself. And like, if there's any elements you want to change, then you have to do that. Like with this one, at least the colors are consistent. And also the logo will always be in every post too, which is nice. So it kind of takes a few extra steps away that you would have to do. Like compared to Canva, you'd have to do that. If you wanted to add the logo, you'd have to go in and add it yourself. If you wanted to change the colors, you have to go in and do it. So that's one nice thing about Ripple is that you can set your brand colors and that'll automatically be incorporated.
Well, yeah, and as far as brand identity, I think it's imperative, you know. And I get it. It's seasonal. Halloween, let's do an orange one. It's Christmas, let's do, red and green. I think it's so important to try to stay within your brand colors, no matter what you're doing, because that sense of consistency builds the familiarity, which cultivates trust, right? Cultivates trust. So be mindful of that. Right, people tend to change their colors all the time, depending if it's 4th of July or Labor Day weekend. Really, you're better off using your brand colors.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, because people will see that, and also, with those colors, if there was a thought that went into your branding, those colors have meanings behind them as well. So you want to make sure that that's attached to every post you have. You want to provoke that.
What are the psychological?
So with Journey's colors, green and black. So green represents growth. So green represents growth. It represents togetherness. Represents nature.
Yep.
And then black represents being bold, being strong.
Very cool. So, and there's a whole color wheel for that, you guys, that branders use, that ad agencies use, right? That provoke that. Why do you think every politician wears a blue sports coat with a red tie and a white shirt? There's psychological meaning behind that, right? It's not by coincidence. Look through history. So when you're choosing brand colors, be mindful of that. And that's why when I walk into the school and it's just a hodgepodge of different colored uniforms. And that's why we only use one t-shirt, a black t-shirt with our logo. We don't venture out and do pink and blue and yellow and orange. We don't do that. We stay right within our brand colors and we cultivate that. We're even, redoing the mats, getting rid of the green tatami mats now and going with gray, which is a derivative color, right? An expensive project, but it makes so much more sense as we begin to refine our brand. We're getting rid of all the colored pictures and going black and white and really saying, making that statement, this is One Martial Arts, right? So,
and that just strengthens the value of your brand even more when you're doing all those things, because people will see the consistency with everything. Everything should work together.
But Zach, why in our industry do we pay so little attention to this? It's because we're a young industry, or they're too busy selling us sales scripts and how to close contracts? I mean, I don't get it, because everything I study outside of our industry, your brand and creating the brand identity, the logo's an extension of that, the why, the culture, it's just huge. I mean, some companies won't even open their doors and they've spent millions of dollars creating a, culture and a brand and everything. I don't get that.
I think it's like, for me, I think there's like two lanes of thought, with running, a martial arts school. It's either you're more sales focused, you're focusing on the product, the experience, like not even the experience, but just general martial arts you're teaching. And then there's the experience you're trying to offer. You're trying to offer experience. You want your whole experience to be cohesive. You want everything to work together. So I think the lane of thought is like either, branding doesn't matter, sales matters, or branding matters and experience matters.
I think they both matter. And selling isn't really selling anymore when you are very clear on your purpose and your why, because selling becomes communication. And the communication is the investment in the relationship that, hey, you have needs and I believe I can say. It's no different than dating somebody, right? You have a need, I can fulfill it. Great. You want to hang out with me. I mean, but if you have to sell yourself, honestly, it's probably the most unattractive thing. And I say this to people all the time because you know me, I'm so big on investing in the relationship. Imagine if on a first date, all you did was tell that girl how wonderful you are.
I run out of things to say.
Right? I mean, it's horrible. You laugh but see, people don't compare that to their business where it really is. It's all about that relationship. And I'm just amazed that, but I think it's the awareness. And I believe that's what we're trying to cultivate here is that sense of awareness, folks, that your brand is so important. and you're constantly refining that brand and refining it and refining it and refining. We just, refined our logo a little more. We didn't go completely out of our lane, but Zach, tightened up our logo, right? And those types of things, that type of mindfulness is why a big company like Facebook can change their name to Meta and go in another direction. They understand the power of a brand, so they're not afraid to rebrand because they know that little shift can just have a huge impact on the whole culture of the company.
Yeah, no, there's definitely great weight behind your brand. There should be a lot of thought that goes in your brand. And your brand should be an investment too.
Yeah, you don't mean a silhouette of somebody kicking is what you should use?
No, please. No more of that.
No more.
You're gonna blend right in with everyone else.
No more silhouette of somebody.
Also,
kicking,
what does that communicate? You're showing, basically just communicates we do kicks here.
Yeah.
We do kicks here. Like, okay. Not much different than any other martial arts school.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why I'm big on this education. What's next?
All right, then from there, so after that, after you basically go through setting up your brands, creating your account, it's going to offer you to purchase Ripple. So premium just gives you more access to more templates. So I would just suggest just doing the free one first. If you like what they offer, if you want access to more templates, you want a little more freedom, then you can do the monthly subscription. But again, that's up to you. Then from there, if you go into the search bar, so within Ripple, there's a search bar on the top. If you go to it, you're actually able to search templates. So just for this example, I did a testimonial post for my mom. So I just looked up testimonial, and then there's a whole plethora of testimonial templates. And I was actually able to find one that was custom towards a gym testimonial. So I used that template. And then you'll see from on number 6, there's a photo. This is the photo that was already provided for it. So that was the stock footage. That's not what we ended up using, but I thought that just worked well for this type of post.
Yeah.
So from there, you're able just to you're able to go in, and if you just tap on the text that's already put in there, which is just the text that was used in the template, you're actually able to tap in and actually able to add your text. And you're also able to change your font from there as well.
And those stars, was that part of the template already?
The stars were part of the template.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep.
Makes it easy.
So it's really, again, it makes it really simple.
Before that time, we either took a screenshot, or could you remember trying to line up 5 stars?
Yeah. Oh, I've done it. I've done it before.
I've done it a time, Zach.
I've done screenshots of Facebook reviews. So Facebook comments. I've done screenshots of Facebook comments, and then had to Photoshop it, add it over, and then put it an overlay of a photo, put it, nice color overlay. And it's just, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. This is a lot easier. It works really well. It looks very professional. And then also with a lot of these templates on Ripple as well, which is really cool, is you're actually able to choose a static. You can choose static, which means it's not a moving graphic. It's not a motion graphic, or you can have it be a motion graphic, which is cool. So it's a little more interactive with.
Well, you guys look at the one on the far left and look at number 9. Look how we've moved that into, a customizable, executed brand. And that's why I think a template like this is acceptable. You know me, I don't like templates and stock photos and, generic copy, but look what's done. Look at the transformation from what started out as a template to what you see in number 9.
Yep. So number 6 is the template. And then we changed the font. That font I don't think fit with Journey Martial Arts brand. So we just changed it. We added a different font that fits more of the brand. We added the text. We adjusted the text size for it to fit better, and then we entered the person who sent the review. So we had all those things. We added a custom photo. If you tap on the photo, you're able to change it. And you just on number 8 it says replace manage. Just click replace, and then or tap on replace, and you're able just to switch out the photo with whatever you'd like to choose. Preferably, a good composition, composition. A good photo that's focusing on some sort of interaction with the student or something, instead of just. I see a lot of photos where there's a photo way backed up, and it's just a whole class, and everyone's doing a different technique, and it's really complicated. With people people are going to get confused by that. People are not going to really understand what's going on. I think it's better to focus on maybe 2 or 3 subjects, 3 at the most. So 1 or 2 people, 2 to 3 people. A little more close up. It's not as confusing. Focusing on one technique,
especially on a cell phone, right? When you're staring into a cell phone, it just looks like a blur because you got this wide angle shot. Yeah, really think about composition. I mean, even look at the template. Look at the shot they have there. Don't you think some type of thought went into the composition of that stock photo? Even that, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. All that matters. All that's really important. And then from there, you're able to just number 10, so the last step. From there, if you just click, you can either choose to share it to social media or just save to the device. From here, I just like to save to my device because from here, I actually will save it. It'll go into my photos. And then from there, I'll actually go to Meta Business Suite and do it from there. Because kind of what we covered last week, there's just a little more, there's a few more options. You can choose Meta Business Suite. This will actually, so you can also schedule posts through here if you have the premium. But again, you can do this for free on Meta Business Suite. So.
And how do you move that from Ripple into, you just download it and upload
yeah,
it?
so if you have saved the photos selected,
yep,
it'll just automatically save your photos. And then from there, just go to Meta Business Suite. If you want to schedule a post, if you want to post it right away, you'll find that right in your photos album.
I dig it. So
that's Ripple. Ripple's pretty simple to use. They have a lot of templates to use. Also, which is nice, is based on the tags you select when you first set up your account, there will already be templates that are kind of custom towards fitness, towards the type of vibe, the type of branding you kind of want. So which is kind of cool. So
all right, Zach. So where are we going to pick it up next week? On next Friday, I'm not here because I'm in Hawaii. TJ's getting married.
Ooh,
yeah.
Fun.
So the week after that, where do you want to pick it up?
So the week after that, we can talk about Canva, and then we can also talk.
I think Canva's a great one.
I think Canva, we talk about that. We can probably kind of dive into not just social media, but we can also dive into templates in general, because you're able to use prints, you're able to do posters, you're able to do a lot of other stuff as well. So we can kind of just go over Canva as a whole, like how it can be used, and then we can also cover some video editing apps as well as using the gimbal.
Cool, yeah, that's a big one for me. The video editing apps. There's so many of them out there, and I'll be in the middle of working one, and then I do something wrong, and I lose all my work. I mean, we've all lost our work, right? We've all done that, and it'd be nice if there was something for video editing that was much like Ripple, something a little tighter, faster, cleaner, and I'm sure there is. Cool. Yeah. Hey, Zach. So do you have the dates down? April 15th through 18th for next year for Balance?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Because I'm definitely going to invite you out again. I'll offer you the 4-day in exchange for that, sir. And you come out and keep doing what you're doing, man. You just keep doing what you're doing, because I think, the empowerment, right? I really believe what I lack in money, I can make up for in creativity. And we're all creative souls, but we don't believe that. And with a little learning and little expression, maybe we can do a mod in the 4-day where we sit down and say, together, we're going to design this in Canva. Everybody open up your app, your computer. Let's go to town. And I think that would be a whole nother level beyond a presentation.
I think so too.
Yeah, we'll take Monday morning.
Would be great.
Yeah, maybe we'll take Monday morning before we go on the hike. Yeah. And we'll sit there and go into one of these platforms. And so people feel even more empowered. A real hands-on experience, people, where we're all open to Canva together and we design something together, right? And maybe pre-frame it, have 6 photos sitting, set up your Canva account so we're not wasting time, and we're going to go to town. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
But that'd be awesome. We can basically go through that whole process, from start to finish.
Cool.
From creating the post, graphics, to scheduling it, to getting on Facebook.
Cool.
Everything.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Sounds great.
So, folks, you see, I'm just really big on empowerment. And growing up when money was short, we had to figure stuff out. We had no choice by default. We couldn't call a mechanic. We couldn't call a plumber. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have YouTube videos. And I'm going to tell you, you don't need a smartphone to teach you you're smart. And I know everything's built for convenience. Everything's built for that. But there's nothing more empowering as an entrepreneur and a small business owner than to figure things out. One time I fixed a freight extension cord and I posted it. But the reason it was so significant to me, because I'd never done that before. I never put a new plug at the end of a broken extension cord. Never, ever, never, ever. So what I mean with that, and the aha for me, is that you've got to be a learner. And you have to be open to learning. And that Kaizen theory of constantly wanting to learn can only come from a place of humility. If I think I know it all, right, or I make so much money, I can't be bothered with that. It's useless. It's a useless mindset that's only debilitating. So to be a learner and to allow yourself to figure things out, make mistakes, fall down, get up is so important. It's so important. So please don't disregard that as we go through this. You know, somebody said, well, is he a huge digital marketer like da 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 da? I said, that's irrelevant. Some of the best people I've ever worked with coming up in music and stuff was the young, hungry college kid, right, to shoot my videos, or the sound engineer in the recording studio that just had new innovative ideas. Do not discount that, right? Just because somebody says they've done A, B, C, D, and an F. There's brilliance everywhere, and you are part of that brilliance, and never forget that. Because if you realize you are brilliant, then you'll be constantly investing in being that light. Cool? All right. So, hey, let's thank our my sponsors. Where am I from? We have Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. I do want to invite you out to Balance. It's Time Life Balance. There's only 20 spots, only 20. And I just gave one to Zach. And in exchange, he's going to come out and give us some learning. And we do know Jed Jones just signed up as well. So there's 18 spots left. And that is it. You know, the discipline behind that event is 20 people, 4 days, intensive learning. So get signed up. Make that commitment now for next April. You don't want to miss out on that. Cool? And we posted the link down there in the comments. Well, so next Friday, I'm not here. So hopefully the wisdom teams are going to take over so they can, I say to teach something is to learn it twice. So anytime I have the opportunity, they're at a high level of learning in working with me. So it's time they start teaching. So hopefully next Friday, they're going to pull that together and they will teach. And then I'll be back the following week, hopefully with lots of videos and stuff of the build out and all that. And I'll post stuff from Hawaii too. It's a huge milestone that TJ's getting married. And I'm very excited about that. Cool. All righty, folks. I am Brandon Beliso. Where do you find me? Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my podcast, Success Never Sleeps, Mindful Meditations. Who's following me at Instagram? For everything else, go to brandonbeliso.com. Success never sleeps. Until we talk again, you go out there, live your best life.